Yeah, now we are complete. So let's start. Good afternoon, too. We are here for another English immersion. The topic of today is frequency. So we are going to discuss a little bit about some topics related to that to practice this topic in English. But before that, I I will start with the presentation. So my name is Warley. I'm 25 years old. I work with IT as a front-end developer. I'm also a Spanish and English host here on Talk and Talk. I'm here since 2022. I started with Spanish and nowadays I'm focused more on my English skills. I love study about neuroscience and learn languages. And that's the idea. Camila, can you present yourself, please?
Sure. So, hello guys. Good afternoon. My name is Camila. I am 40 years old. I work as an accountant in an energy company. I am here on Talk and Talk since April from this year, and I became a host last month. I'm here to improve my English skills, and I was afraid when I was seeing the question on Spanish because I must to improve my Spanish skills too. Maybe another time. In my free time, I love to read. I love to studies about language and other things. I used to live by myself, but now my mom's living with me, so I have a guest these days. And whatever, what else? I think that's it, guys.
Great, thank you, Camila. And how about you, Diogo? Can you present yourself, please? You are muted.
Sorry,
Now, yeah.
I have a little problem with. Hi guys. My name is Joe Gonaga. I'm 41 years old. I'm married. I have two boys. I'm work at insurance market since my first job in this industry. I'm here because I need to improve my speaking. I don't study. I don't will study more grammar, for example, because for I getting a new job or a new position in my company or at my industry, I need to speak English now very well. And this is, I don't have free time because I work a lot. I take a terrible traffic jam all days. And now I am in my heavy lunch, our heavy lunch, and I'm here to I don't know aproveitando my time for this class. Thank you.
Very great, you. Thank you. And how about you, Leandro? Can you present yourself, please?
Oh yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lee Anderson, but you can call me just Liam. I'm 23 years old. For now, I'm working as a software developer at CreaDigi. The name is the name's company. For now, I'm studying English because I have uh, a test I would like to one day I would like to receive in dollar. So for that, I need to speak English and speak very well. So yeah, I'm from Brazil. I'm in São Paulo right now. I have two kids. I live with my family, and that's it.
Very great, very great. And how about you, Christian?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Karen Jimenez. I am Bolivian. I am from Bolivia. I currently live here in Brazil, in Curitiba, Paraná. I currently work as a full stack software developer as well, and I have been working in the field for almost 12 years. I'm 36 years old. I'm married, and I'm here because I would like to have my salary in dollars, so that's why I'm trying to improve my English. And by the way, I am trying to learn French as well to increase my opportunities. So I participate on French immersion here in Talk and Talk as well. And I became a English host and a Spanish host 1 month ago. So uh, that's it, guys. That's it a little bit about me.
Yeah, very great. There's a lot of people from IT here, and we all have the same goal, right? To get paid in dollar. But yeah, let's go. Let's go to the question number one. I was about to read the question in Spanish. I'm sorry. How often do you exercise? Do you like to do exercise? Do you like to go to the gym, for example, or I don't know, outside exercise? What do you think, Camila? I'll start with you.
I don't have a huge frequency to exercise, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I know this is not the best, could be better, but I try to improve this too. But I believe it 2 or 3 times a week, I guess.
But do you like to do exercise in a gym, for example, or what do you
No,
like to
I
do?
hate. I prefer to do some exercise in my home. I have some things here, but I hate to go to the gym. Even here in São Paulo, it's not so cold today, but I have this kind of, I need to spend 30 minutes to arrive at the gym and maybe 1 hour to do my full training. So I hate this kind of things, but I know could be effective result for my training. So I am doing not so good and not so a huge frequency, I guess.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because I also hate to go to the gym. I don't like to do exercise in a closed space, you know. I don't know, it's strange for me, and I I also think that's complicated to fit that on on your schedule and do that in a interesting frequency. So yeah, it's complicated to put that on your agenda in your week, I guess. So yeah, it's complicated to do that. But what do you think, Leandro? What's your opinion?
Well, in my case, I'm overweight, so I exercise every day, but I don't exercise in the gym. I exercise at my home. I do cardio exercise and calisthenic exercise. I have some equipment here, so and I use every day.
Yeah, it's interesting. I try to do that. As I said, I hate to go to the gym, so I try to do this kind of calisthenics exercise, I don't know, in my home and go to run, for example. I like to run and do this kind of exercise outside. So yeah, it's a interesting way. We all that work from home, for example, we are seated all the time. It's really important to move and to exercise your body. It's pretty important. And how about you, Christian? What do you think?
So nowadays I try to go to the gym. Actually, we go to the gym from Mondays to Fridays with my wife. But in my case as well, I don't like to go to the gym. I just go there because I need it. I would prefer to do different sports like playing football or playing volleyball, but sadly or unfortunately, I don't have the opportunity to do that here. So I go to the gym even though I don't like it. In the past, I used to work out as well in my house with some videos. I don't know if you have heard about the program of anxiety, I think. It's Palestinian videos. They were so good, I think, in my personal opinion. So I stopped it because now we are living in an apartment, and you in those kind of exercises you have to jump, and so that can be a little bit annoying for my neighbors. So I stopped it, but I currently go to the gym from Mondays to Fridays.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you need to jump, it's complicated to your neighbor. So yeah, it's complicated. And how about you, Diogo? What do you think?
Oh, my case is complicated. Uh, I never uh, frequent to the gym or practice any sports because really I don't have free time. But since I never liked to go to the gym, for example. But in the past, I did many times. because I don't have one son with my ex-wife. My actual wife worked at Campinas, another city, not so far than São Paulo, you know. And in this time, I have time for practice. I played volleyball uh, in when I was more younger. I played uh, football too, but now I don't practice any exercise. But I want to go to the back. I'm looking another day in the Instagram. They rent a bicycle for practice riding in my home, for example. And these companies has a software that simulator any places like to mountain, like to street, like to anyway. And I think about that, but in this moment, I don't practice exercise, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking about to play soccer, for example. I love to do that, but I don't know. So, sometimes nowadays when I do that and when someone hit me on playing soccer, I'm paying for days, so it's complicated. I don't know. I think it's my age. I'm getting old, so I don't know. It's complicated. So sometimes I'm thinking about if it's okay, if it's great to maintain this kind of exercise because soccer it's more complicated. There's a lot of contact with others, so I don't know.
Yes.
It's complicated.
Last week, my friends in my job he called me to, oh Naga, let's go to play a soccer, and after we can do a barbecue. Yes, I will, but only barbecue. To play
Exactly.
soccer, impossible for me. I I I I had afraid to hurt me, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I prefer go just to only to the barbecue. I
Yeah,
really agree with
barbecue,
you.
drink a beer, but play soccer, no.
Yeah, it's much better. It's much better. Okay, so let's go to the question number two. How often do you eat fast food? Do you like to do that, or I don't know, do you like to do you have actually difficult to not eat fast food, for example, and change that to cook something? I don't know. What do you think, Leonardo?
Well, every Wednesday, it's a deal with my family. It's not always specifically fast food, but sometimes we just eat something different, like cupcakes, popcorn, and yeah, the answer is every Wednesday.
Very great, very good. And how about you, Christian? How is that for you?
So nowadays we try to avoid this kind of food, but I have to confess that I am a junk food lover. I really love to eat those kind of foods like pizzas, hamburgers, hot dogs, but I try to avoid it. So I think that we just go to those kind of restaurants here in Brazil twice or three times every month to because we try to like eat healthy during the week, but some weekends we go to those kind of restaurants like rodízios that you call here in Brazil, rodízios of pizza, rodízios of hamburger or barbecue. So, but in general, I think that we have a a healthy diet. I have to I try to avoid junk food, but I love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of great food here in Brazil, right? So, related to fast food, for example, and junk food, it's complicated to deny that and don't eat. There's a lot of interesting and great foods. I love desserts, for example. I'm a sugar lover, so it's also complicated for me to do that. But How about you, Diogo? What do you think?
Oh, for wiki, I at least twice or three times. But this month I start a new thread. I'm cooking for diner because when I arrived to my job, my wife to do my little son to sleep and I'm cooking. But many days I'm arrived so tired, you know. And I 2 months I was in vacation and I prepare my food and I'm frozen. I frozen like two vegetables, garlic, onions. I put in the bag. I frozen. And this week, for example, I didn't buy fast food, and I'm preparing my dinner with this frozen foods. Yesterday, for example, I cook in vegetables and I did a little beef edges, but I love so much fast food, hamburger. I like so much pizza. Side my building that I live in, to open a Arabian or Libyan restaurant, and they did a little sandwich. His name is Shawarma. Do you know? Do you eat this? It's a very delicious. But that's it. I'm looking to eat better, more vegetables. My always 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 não. Minha própria food always. But in these weeks, I love pizza. I always bought pizza.
Very great. Do you live in São Paulo, right?
Yes, São
Uh,
Paulo.
uh, I think it's interesting because São Paulo, there's a lot of different restaurants and different foods from
Yes,
a lot of places, a lot of countries. I don't know if here in Recife where I live, there's a lot of different restaurants like that. But yeah, it's interesting the options that you have in São Paulo. It's pretty interesting. And how about you, Camila?
yes,
What do you think?
In my case, this was more often when I used to live by myself, but now my mom is living here, so I have someone to help me. For example, if I am working all day, I decide to get fast food or eat some bread, something like this. So as Diogo said, I should be better in this case regarding to food, health foods. But nowadays I am doing it properly because my mom's here, but I don't like to cook too much. So it's the easier way to food, right? So nowadays I believe 2 or 3 times a month, but was terrible in the past. I have to say that I love pizza, and here in my condom, we have I don't know how to say that because it's inside feira, like a street market, but inside the condom, and it's today. And I love it because I can eat a lot of things like pastel, espetinho. I love it. So this is today is the rubbish day, I guess. I don't know how to say that. But I try to eat better, but I fail a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a really common thing from the small cities, or like that, this kind of feta or this kind of food, and go to buy some natural things, you know. I don't know, here in the capital, it's more complicated. You always buy food like in the supermarket. There is no the, doesn't exist this idea of to go to the street and buy some natural things. It's pretty strange for me, for example. So yeah, it's strange. Okay, let's go to the question number. Actually, I will jump to the question number 5. That's related to that. So let's start. Let's go to the question number 5. How often do you cook at home? And I don't know, do you like to cook and you prefer to go to a restaurant, for example? Uh, let's start with you, Camila. What do you think? You already
Um,
answered.
I prefer to go to the restaurant, even when we are talking about fast food. I don't like to eat, to ask it at home. I prefer to go to the restaurant. In my opinion, it's better. But when I have to cook, maybe on weekends, I try to do something because I have free time and I love to watch some podcasts. So this is my time to relax, put a TV show or a series to follow, and I go to cooking, but not so special, not something really special. Just a rice, a beef, a salad, something like this, really simple, but I love it. But I believe only weekends, when I can, of course, because here it's hard. I don't know how to say that. Cozinha? Forgot the word.
Kitchen.
uh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. The kitchen is always busy because my mom is always doing something to eat. So I usually to cook on the weekends because she's working. So for me, it's easier.
Yeah, I think that changes a lot when you live with your parents, for example, because nowadays I'm not living with my parents and I need to cook every day. So or
Oh,
I need to buy every meal that I can.
and you
So
decided did you don't need to
yeah,
eat every day. Like, oh, if I have to do, I can. I don't need to eat every day.
exactly. So actually, I need to cook every day. So it's complicated because I don't like to cook in general, but and I hate to uh how can I say lavar os pratos? I
Do
forgot
the
that.
dishes.
Yeah,
Wash
do
the
the dishes.
dishes.
Yeah, do the dish. Thank you. So I hate do the dishes and yeah, it's so complicated to me to all day to cook and do the dishes. So yeah, to be an adult and take care of your home and do this a lot of stuff, it's boring, I guess. So yeah, and it's so easy to buy from iFood, for example, and to ask for food. So yeah, it's a complicated relation for me. But what do you think, Liam? What's your opinion?
Well, in my case, normally my wife is the one who cooks at home. I cook when it's something special like temaki, homemade burgers, barbecue, and it's my responsibility. So the routine to cook, I really don't have it.
Yeah, very great. I think it's interesting this idea of to I don't know divide the focus. I think it's interesting because in my case I don't like to cook special things. I guess I know to cook the basic things, you know. But my girlfriend likes to do different meals and this idea. So I think it's interesting to balance the that thing, you know. So yeah, it's pretty great. And how about you, Diogo? What do you think?
In my case, I'm looking cooking uh, always, né? And for a week, for example, I cooking 3 or 4 times because in the weeks for the diner, for example, I bought the hamburger or pizza because my sons too, and normally I don't will go to the restaurant. I'm always prefer to cooking or to eat in my home with my family. You know, I like so much to do a barbecue at oh, at at Sundays with my family or neighbors or friends. And since I was preparing frozen my eats, I did this because I want to a moment. I want to save my money because to buy our fast food it's very expensive, you know. And that's it. But I like cooking. For me, it's a moment of relax. Sometimes I open a beer or take a little how can I say dose about the whiskey, for example. When I prepare my my dinner, my wife stayed crazy sometimes, but this is for me cooking. It's my only moment at only at night in my house. I like it so much. Sometimes I prepare at Sundays to a special no special foods because I'm not a chef, you know, but I like it to sometimes looking at YouTube, for example, these channels about semi foods like to I like so much beef, you know. Sometimes I prepare a different fish or pasta, you know. That's it.
Yeah, pasta is pretty great. I love. And about this idea of saving money, I was looking about my card bill, I guess, from the last month, and I was looking about my iFood order, for example, when last month, maybe that I asked it twice a week, maybe. So I don't know. It's complicated because you always do the orders uh and later you will not to remember that you asked it a lot of times. So yeah, it's complicated. It's so easy to do a order in iFood, for example, and to ask for something. So yeah, it's a pretty complicated thing for me nowadays. But what do you think, Christian? What's your opinion about that? Do you often cook at home, for example?
Yeah, actually, I prepare our food here at home every single day because I work remotely, so I leverage that, and I need to prepare it every day. Because my wife, she works in a school that is so close of our house, so she comes to house to get our lunch together. So for that, I need to prepare it. But actually, I don't cook all of the things because we get pre we we prepare our things on weekends and we freeze it. So every day I need to just to prepare some protein and warm the other things that we already have prepared. So, but in general, I really love cooking as well because I can cook Bolivian food. That is something that I miss so much. So, when we feel when we don't feel tired on weekends, we prepare Bolivian food here in house, or sometimes when we are so tired, we decide to go to a restaurant. But I consider that cooking at home or preparing your own food, obviously you will save a lot of money, and I can see that in flesh because nowadays we use our two we both have I don't know how to say that viaje is while that benefits that our work our job give us every month, and we save a lot of money in those with that. We don't use our salary at all for eating in general. We just use our benefits that our work give us, and that's it.
The VR, the ticket, I guess it's interesting. And when use that in a proper way, it's you save a lot of money. And this is a strategy to cook a lot of food, for example, and to keep that in freeze. It's pretty great. I do that. I mean every week, so it's really good strategy, I guess. So let me go back to the question number three now. So how often do you study English? How is this experience for you? And how are you doing that, for example? Uh, how about you, Dio? Let's start with you.
Since I started reading talking, I study almost every days. Normally, I don't study in the weeks at Monday, for example. But all days I have been studying. When I don't get to participate at the class, for example, at night I always looking about the podcast and for training my listening and to understand the context without reading the transcription, for example. I try to listen the music and I to use the website cifras.com .br because it's very easy to we have two columns one column with the letter in English, another column with the letter in Portuguese, and this but nowadays I will try to uh, looking for the language, uh, maybe listening, maybe writing, maybe reading, and I would like to do every day this class, but for me impossible. It's difficult because the hour is complicated. I suggest in one searching about the Finnish class, for example, we have a last section at 11 o'clock p.m. For example. For me, it's it will be very, very, very good. But all days since I started here.
Yeah, it's great because in English we have a lot of spots to do immersions, right? We have a lot of
Mhm.
hosts and a lot of spots, so it's really great. That's I think it's Monday. We have immersions from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. I guess. So it's pretty great. Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty good.
And I need to use the Chat GPT for
Yeah,
for talking. It's very funny. I like so
yeah,
much this.
yeah,
I don't know. And Philip talked me about this, and I did a download at the app, and it's very crazy that this app talking with us. You know,
yeah. It's
it's
it's also
incredible, amazing,
yeah.
amazing.
It's really incredible. I use that in the app, and the first time that I use for Spanish and English, it was so I don't know. It was strange because it's impressive how the AI understand the context that you are talking about. So it's pretty impressive. I use that sometimes, and it's pretty interesting. And how about you, Christian? What do you think, and what do you do?
So I normally study or practice in English every single day, directly and indirectly, because nowadays we are trying to learn study English with my wife at nights. So I am trying to teach her the basis of English because I already took some English classes in the past. So I have some books. I have some books. I have some. I think the basic knowledge that it's enough for teaching English, but obviously I'm not an English teacher, so I have some difficulties when I need to explain different things, that I don't even know how to explain it, but I know how it works, so it's kind of complicated. As well, here in Talk and Talk, I try to participate in at least three immersions in English. and I have my own immersion on Fridays. So that's a time that I really take advantage of that because it's different being a host than just being a guest. I think that when you are a host, you have to talk more, and those immersion are so special and so important for me as well. And on weekends, we try to watch movies in English for me. With subtitles in Portuguese for my wife because she's trying to improve her Portuguese. Um, and that's it. When I go to the church as well on Saturdays, I go to an English class, a Sabbath English class, where we just speak as English. So I think that I practice English every single day nowadays, and that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive because it seems like you are surrounded for English, I guess. So yeah, you have a lot of contact with the language. It's pretty important that to learn the language. And how about you, Camila? What do you do?
Nowadays, I try to do it every day. I have some things like flashcards that I must to do every day because I want to follow a big routine, and I can't see my calendar regard my routine. So I am doing it every day. But I love to, I don't know if I can understand about study English like here because we are practicing, in my opinion. So if I say that I stop to study for real, maybe once a week when I get something that I don't know, but practicing, I guess, every day because I work in a company that I need to talk to people from Japan, India, and we have to talk to them and be understandable. So I believe you practice practice every day and even weekends and study. I believe once a week, but I would like to be better regarding to study. I do it Duolingo, so I am trying to do these things, flashcard, Duolingo, but I am not surrounded by English, as Christian said, but I am trying. I put some podcast to listen when I am working, but I don't know how it could be so effective because you're not pay attention, but you are getting some things. So I try to do it. I try to read something. When I look to Twitter or Instagram, I try to follow some tips on English. So I am becoming like I need to be surrounded by English because I know this could be easier to us, right?
Yeah, I think you can consider this kind of immersions and this kind of idea as study English, but yeah, I think we can change to learn English. And all this idea of to practice the conversation and I don't know to consume English in a general way, like watching videos, for example. I think we are all learning English in different ways, I guess. So yeah, I think it's not once a week that you learn or study English, I guess.
No, I agree with you. Sometimes I believe here we can learn it too because I have something to take some notes and I can learn it from the others. So
Exactly.
I believe we are learning too. So every day I can say.
Very good, very good. And how about you, Liam? What do you do?
Well, in my case, I study English every day. Every day I study English. But sometimes I use Talk and Talk to study. Sometimes I use YouTube to check some about grammar, to check new words and try to use it here. But for now, I have some new friends and they recommend to me try to study English playing an online game. Games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, Elden Ring, and things like that. And I really think about it because they learn it with this, and they have a good English, a good speaks, so they are good speakers. So I'm thinking about it. Maybe I will do it in the future.
Yeah, this idea of to learn with games, it's pretty interesting. I was playing with RDR2. I don't know if you don't know. Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a great game and all the storytelling of the game is in English. So we have the sound, the the sound and the legends, the subtitles actually, the subtitles in English. So there's a lot of vocabulary that you can learn with these kind of games and playing game, and it's a funny way to learn and I don't know to practice English, I guess. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I do that sometimes, and actually I try to practice even talk and talk on the immersions like 3 times a week, I guess. I have my immersions twice a week, on Mondays and Thursday. And I try to participate on other immersions, and I think it's pretty important for me because I need to develop more my conversation, my speaking and listening skills. So I think it's important. And I also watch the English course, you know, Talk and Talk. And I try to maintain this balance of study grammar and vocabulary and practice the conversation. I think it's a better strategy that I can do. But yeah, I think that's the main idea. So let's go to the question number 4. How often do you go out with friends?
Sorry, Warley.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, you go ahead.
Sorry. I want to let me you a question for us.
Yeah.
How do you enjoy studying after your immersions here, for example? Today the subject is how often? Do you know?
Yeah.
After the classroom, how do you enjoy this classroom for studying? You
I,
can
I
many types for giving me.
Okay, I don't know if I understand exactly your question, but it's if I'm correct, you are asking me about how can I use a specific point of grammar, for example, like frequency on the immersions, right? And learning with the immersions, is that right?
Yes, for example, finishing this class, I want to
Okay,
study this subject.
okay,
How do you do each? For example, I want to types, for example,
okay.
dicas.
Okay. I will give some tips. I think. I use the immersions in a more active way. So I try to develop the immersions using a grammar or vocabulary point. So these immersions I'm developing the adverbio de frequência. So this topic, specific topic. So
Mm-hmm.
I build the questions and the topic related to that. So I'm forcing myself and forcing you all also to use the frequency adverbs, you know. So I actually watched the class on the English course for Talk and Talk about this topic, and I'm using that on the immersions in an active way. So all the questions are built for that. And after the immersion, I try to go to YouTube, for example, to watch the video, and I'm looking for feedbacks in a general way. I look some mistakes that I did, for example, and some others expressions that I could be used, but I didn't, for example. So I think I think that's the main idea that I use. Maybe did you got it?
Okay, I like when I get it to watch me in YouTube after the class. For me this point is very important because when
Yeah.
I talk in here, oh okay, I know that I am mistaken, but when I watch, wow, uh, I don't understand that I I sing I think no I went to sad, you know. In this moment I get it to observe and to try the writing this mistake and to note in my notes this point. But thank you for your types.
Yeah, and I think that's normal. I think for someone it's strange to look for you speaking another language in YouTube, for example. and it's kind of sad when you realize that you make a lot of mistakes. But I think it's pretty normal to do that. You are learning a language, so it's normal to make mistakes and speak in a incorrect way. But the main point is about to look that and to improve your English with that, you know. So
Mhm.
sometimes I know exactly word and exactly expression to speak, but I'm not using that here because I don't know, I'm nervous or I forgot that. I don't know. So I think it's this kind of feedback that you see yourself speaking English. It's important to have this feedback. You know, I don't know. Maybe Christian and Camila can add some other ideas, but I do that in my case, learning English.
I was thinking something really fast, okay? We can try to see the questions on the planner before the immersion and try to answer all that questions as you want to say here, for example. Prepare
Mhm.
yourself before the immersion. For example, if you don't know any words, you can check this, or I don't know. It's a good way for me. And I learn a lot about the questions, sometimes about the vocabulary.
No,
Yeah, that
okay.
no, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
man. Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
No, no, no.
Uh, I
I always said I always prepare my I read the questions for the which immersion, and I prepare my
yeah,
what I will go to topic. Okay, but my question is about after the immersion. How
yeah,
do you enjoy and improve
yeah,
this specific class for study now? You know, and for example, after watch the YouTube, okay, that is because I saw you can I'll use talking very well in English, and I think I want to apologize for these uh, types for me.
yeah. No, there's no problem. So, I was thinking about Camila said. I was giving tips for you as a host, but as a guest, for example, I think it's important to prepare yourself before the immersion, you know, because you have
Mhm.
the question, for example, and in my case, when I go to another host immersion, I use ChatGPT, for example, with the question to prepare my answers, for example, to participate. So I
Mhm.
use this kind of prompt that I will send here, like answer the questions below with expressions, points, and words that can help me, but not answer directly the questions, you know. So ChatGPT give me
Oh,
a lot of points that I can use, but not answer exactly what I will use. So I can learn some vocabularies and expressions, and I can formulate my answer with that, you know. I think it's a good strategy that I use, for example.
so very nice. I don't know about this. Thank you.
Really.
This prompt.
And yeah, and as I said, I think it's important to do after the immersion, as I said before, to watch the the video on YouTube, for example, to look your mistakes. And I think it's also important to really participate in the immersions. During the immersion, it's important to uh, pay attention on others speaking, because you can learn a lot of vocabularies and expressions that others can use and you even know. Right. So I think
Right, sure.
it's a good point about uh, before, during, and after the immersion. It's a really process. So yeah, it's a good point. But
Nice. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
no problem, man, no problem. I think I think we have time for just one more question. So let's go to the question number 4. How often do you go out with friends? Do you like to do that, or I don't know, maybe that changed with the pandemic, for example? What do you think, Camila? What do you think about that?
This is rare nowadays. I remember that I found a friend, I gathering with a friend last month, but the last time that we have gathering together were last year. So maybe I am doing it almost twice a year, but I have I don't know, my friends try to gathering together once a year in a sitio, in a place with some pool, and we decide to go together. So I know for sure once a year, but I am trying to do it more. In the pandemic, I didn't do it.
Yeah, I think maybe that changed a lot before pandemic and after pandemic, I guess, for a lot of us. So yeah,
For sure.
it's
Unfortunately.
interesting point. Yeah, unfortunately. But what do you think, Christian? How is that for you?
So in my case nowadays, I seldom go out with friends because I just moved to Curitiba 1 year ago, so I'm still in the process of finding finding friends. So maybe when we get them, we will hang out with them. But I am the kind of person who don't like too much to going out. I don't know why. Maybe because it's like I am. But with my wife, she always likes to go out to hanging out. So. Uh, but now with friends, no, I don't have too much opportunity, so many opportunities to do that.
Yeah, very good. And how about you, Dio? What do you think?
Um, I don't go out so much, but for month twice. Uh, I liked so much to go a famous bar uh, at my neighbor called Bar do Luiz. And I have a friend.
Mm.
Uh, Normally at Fridays, I work. I have a short Friday in my company, and uh, always no, almost 2 weeks we go for the bar to drink a lot, you know. But normally I always at my home because my job, my son, my wife. But for me, it's necessary sometimes to drink with my friends. My friends, no more, no, not my colleagues at job. Because sometimes I have events, happy hours, but with my friends twice for a month.
Very good, very good. And how about you, Liam? What is that for you? How is that for you?
Well, I just want to compliment Diogo's answer because in São Paulo we have a lot of places like that. Bar do Luiz, Bar do Tonhão, Bar do Zé, Bar do Rock. That's very nice. But I don't go out so much. Maybe it's because I have a few friends, but I talk with my friends every day.
Very good, very good. Here in Recife, we have a lot of bars like that, call it like that. It's pretty fun, yeah, I guess. But actually, we have no time for more questions, but I would like to send you two links here. The first one, it's a masterclass that I give on here on Talk and Talk. And in this video, I explain a little bit how we use this idea of prompts and how to learn English, for example, a language with immersions and this kind of idea. So I think
Okay.
that can help you and the others maybe. So it's a point. And actually, I would like to share with you here the link for the survey that we get here. And well, the survey you can say what did you think about the immersion and suggest other topics, or I don't know, say what do you think, what do you want. And yeah, that's the idea. I hope you enjoyed the conversation and I see you on the next times. So thank you all. Bye bye.